Today we are gathered to celebrate the graduation of the 79 Tango Senior Leader Course, Class 26-003. For the past 3 weeks, these NCOs have actively applied essential leadership skills, including counseling, mentoring, Army writing, critical thinking, and problem solving. This intense training has equipped them with the critical foundation, knowledge necessary for effective leadership as enlisted senior leaders in the Army National Guard. The guest speaker for today's ceremony is Command Sergeant Major McCain. CSM McCain was assigned as the Brigade Command Sergeant Major, Professional Education Center, Camp Joseph T. Robinson on July 22, 2024. CSM McCain joined the United States Army on September 5, 2001, and has served in the Army National Guard for more than 23 years. CSM McCain successfully served in the G3 OPR for the Warrior Training Center, managing the support of over 40 courses, including over 90 high-risk events, increasing the lethality of over 4,500 soldiers from all three components of the U.S. Army. CSM McCain was selected in 2021 to attend the Reserve Component National Security Course at Fort McNair in D.C., and in 2018 to attend the Headquarters Department of the Army Cognitive Dominance Broadening Seminar at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. CSM McCain lives in Little Rock, Arkansas, and is married to his wife, Nicole. CSM McCain and his wife have 3 children, 2 daughters, Christine and Aubrey, and a son, Walker. Prior to assuming his current position, CSM McCain was the Senior Command Career Counselor at 18th Airborne Corps, Fort Liberty, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, CSM McCain.
Well, thank you very much. Again, it's my pleasure to be here with each and every one of you guys today. Colonel Jones, CSM Facet, thanks for inviting me, or I guess what was actually turned out, I said, hey, I'd like to come talk to the students before they graduate, turned into me becoming your guest speaker for today. So thank you guys for this opportunity. You guys appreciate it. Thank you very much. It was a good one. I'm curious to know how you guys figured out this bio thing. We got to work on that. I'll update my bio for you guys. There's been some updates since then, but hey, just real quick, right? So you guys have all heard 1,000 times the graduation speaker. You guys are never going to remember what I say, by the time you hit the door over there, right? So just want to give you guys a few pieces of advice. As you get ready to leave here, right? SLC is, probably one of the last foundational PMEs for non-commissioned officers where you really have the opportunity to lead soldiers, right? As you get ready to transition into a leader, not only as a 79 Tango, but as a non-commissioned officer in the United States Army and the Army National Guard, just remember that as you move forward, so much of your career is no longer going to be about you, right? It's going to be about the soldiers that you lead. And you have to lift them up and remember your charge as a non-commissioned officer is to take care of them, is to make sure that they're fed, they have the beans and the bullets, and in our recruiting field that they are successful in the mission, right? Because coach, train, mentor, that's what we do as non-commissioned officers. As you guys get ready to become team leaders and then eventually section chiefs, just remember that. Recruiting and retention is so much about morale, it's completely immeasurable, right? You guys have all experienced that, right? Because you guys had team leaders that are beating you down, 5-1, 2-1, +1, you haven't made enough phone calls, et cetera. When's the next person going to the floor, right? Here is 0, right? So just remember that. It's not necessarily about always the number. It's about taking care of each individual soldier, right? And, in a perfect world, right, it would be about quality, right? It wouldn't necessarily be about quantity, right? But we live in a different world, and you guys, as senior leaders, are going to be charged with maintaining the in-strengthened Army National Guard, right? And you have at times, almost impossible mission. One of the things that they didn't say in my bio, which is much longer, and I appreciate them for at least cutting that out because we would have been here for like 15 minutes, is I spent almost the better part of a decade on the street as a recruiting retention NCO. And so I share with you those struggles, right? And it was definitely at the most trying times of my life, as you guys have experienced. And some of the most rewarding times, right? Because the ones that you remember, right, are the ones that you really work hard to get, right? I can remember one guy, his name was Tim, don't ask me his last name, but I spent probably the better part of a year trying to get him into boots, right? He was, overweight. We had to get him outside of that, inside the body fat window. He, was not the smartest kid on the block, so, he ended up joining the National Guard as a Cat 4 waiver. But I tell you what, he was the most dedicated soldier I've ever met. He ended up actually, after completing basic training and AIT for the National Guard, leaving and going into the active Army. Have lost touch with him ever since, but I would like to see where he's at today. And you know what? I bet you he's probably been successful in his career too. So just remember the impact that you have on each and every soldier's lives, from the soldiers that you recruit into the Army National Guard to the soldiers that you will lead in the very near future. You know, you will never be able to understand how much and how important you are to them. And as you get ready to get closer to the end of your career, I will tell you that it becomes a little eye-opening how much of an impact you can have. And I will tell you that I saw one face. Yes, I joined the Army National Guard 6 days before September 11th. I chose infantry. You know, what my mom was like at the time was like, that's pretty safe, MOS. Yeah, it was not. Global war and terrorism, you know, 20 years later. I'll tell you that, you know, Sergeant Jacoby, I had to give him this opportunity to make a little more content while he's here. So, he's back there shaking his head. I mean, I had to come here for that. So I'm sure there will be something later on the internet. But you really have an opportunity to understand what's important. And it's really not about you, but it's more about your families. So just make sure that as you go back and you're concentrated on your work and the recruiting and retention arena, that you take care of your families at the same time. Because as you get closer to the end of a 25-year career, you're going to realize the Army and the Army National Guard won't be there forever. And it's going to be your kids and your wife and everybody else around your family that's going to be there. So make sure you take care of them too. Again, I'm super proud to have you guys here. You guys have been here for the last 3 weeks. You've been through quite a lot, right? You've been through the awesome welcome brief, right? You guys remember that one? Where you guys understood found out my number one rule, which is FAFO, right? You guys figured that out. Appreciate you guys not actually violating that. Trust me, Sergeant Jacoby, I got it down. I got it. Yeah, I've been practicing just for right now. But anyways, hey, thank you for coming. I look forward to having each and every one of you back here at some point in the future in the section chief course, MEPS guidance counselor, whatever it may be. Just remember that, starting now, you are no longer just a number. You are now a part of the PEC family. We look forward to having each and every one of you back here. I know you guys are ready to get out of here. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Thanks.
CSM McCain, thank you for your time to share your wisdom and those inspiring words.